seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you.
That's it! You're locked in here with me!
All right. Welcome in, everybody. It's a Friday night, Radio Baloney Live. I'm your host, Richie Baloney, and I'm back at the Nerve Center, back at my home studio. I'm back at the bunker. I tell you what, it feels good. It feels good after that struggle of the first ever road stream from a hotel. Different gear, different computer, different everything. Did it work out perfectly on Tuesday? No, it did not. There were some problems. Wouldn't play the sound from the videos. But we still had a good time. We went an hour and 45 minutes. It worked. I said I was going to be there, and God damn it, I was there. I was there for you degenerates. I was there for you. I have to be. God knows what you would get up to if you didn't have the stream to occupy you. God knows. Roaming the streets, causing mayhem? I don't know. You probably formed some sort of a gang, like a Mad Max gang, like a Road Warrior gang or something, and rob people for gasoline or something. I don't know what you guys get up to. I'm just saying. I've been observing you in the chat for a while now, and you're a wild bunch. All right. So it looks like we had some chats even before we started the stream. We got Radio Streamer in the chat already. Radio Streamer had the first like, therefore the best karma. That is true. And that was before the stream even started. Wow, that's impressive. That is the best karma. I'm not saying everybody else was foolish to not get the first one. I'm just saying you've got the best karma now. He's saying, although the first 100, he's hinting here. This is a hint. This is an obvious hint, one that I approve of. He's saying the first 100 likes, still have great karma as well. Yeah, it's totally worth it. I can confirm that. That fact check's true. We got G-Flood in the chat. We've got JJ Nevada already. Good to see you, sir. Radio Streamer says, now he's talking in reference to my road stream from a hotel at an undisclosed location, but at a hotel with all of the difficulties of streaming from somewhere like that. He says it just doesn't give you the same high as streaming from Parliament's hidden basement, does it? I've told you guys before, it's not Parliament. It's in the Arctic Circle, about 1 kilometer underground. It's a bunker. I call it the Nerve Center. Anyway, you'll never find it. I'll tell you that much. I'm safe. All right. So here we are. It's Friday night. We've got a shitload of stuff to go through. There's a bunch of stuff that because the video playback, the audio and the video playback wasn't working on Tuesday, there was a bunch of really good stuff that I wanted to show you, a bunch of important stuff that we just couldn't hear it. Or I could hear it on my side, but you guys couldn't hear it on your side. So we're going to go through some of that. We've got a shitload of stuff, tons of stuff. And we're going to go through it all, a lot of it. This might be a long one tonight. This might be a really long one tonight. We got Michael Douglas in the chat. He's saying, hit like people, and he's right. Another thing before we get started is that you guys have been harassing me to get new sound effects. You've been suggesting things, and I pretty much forgot all of them. But I added a bunch of new stuff. I mean, I write things down on a piece of paper, and then I lose it. But I know there's one you guys have been asking for, and now it's here.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
I thought you guys would appreciate that, but there's more. There's more stuff. We've got some new features here. So a week or so ago, we did something spontaneously on the channel. Is one of you guys, who was it that suggested it? I can't remember now. But one of you fine people suggested that we just just on a whim, just spontaneously look up things on the internet to see if they're now considered to be racist or not. And I thought this is a great thing. So we're going to, at some point tonight, if I don't just bring it up, you guys remind me. But I've done a couple of little things. I think you'll enjoy it.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
So that's the screen for Is It Racist? Our new segment. And also, too, Radio Streamer. It was Radio Streamer. Thank you, sir. Everybody give him a hand. And then also just a fact check. A fact check, which is normal. And this is kind of a bit trite. But, hey, I'm limited in time. This shit takes a while to do.
Fact check.
So when that comes up, we will do a fact check. Maybe we'll do several of them. I don't know. You guys can even request a fact check in the chat, you know? Sometimes I just keep rambling on kind of aimlessly. So you guys feel free to interrupt me. As I say, you guys are part of the show. So feel free. We got POTUS George Kirby in the chat. All right. So I've got new stuff. I've got new sound effects. I will reveal them. As the show goes on. But we'll find out. Let's go through what we're going to go through. So first story. We don't need to spend a ton of time on this, but I do have a slight rant on this. A mechanical issue with Trump's plane forced the plane to land. So I'm just going to say right now, I just consider everything that has to do with Trump, anything negative happening to Trump, is a conspiracy theory in my mind. After everything I've seen, the last 8 years, I just think it's all deep state conspiracies at this point. But we'll get into that. Got this one I want to spend a minute on. Ottawa Pride calls out. I thought Pride already happened. Is Pride just all year now? What's going on? Are they just having like a Pride parade, a Pride month? Is it just Pride year now? Is it just this ongoing thing forever? I don't know. Anyway, Ottawa Pride calls out Islamophobia, pinkwashing in solidarity with Gaza ahead of parade. We're going to do a little fact check on some of the stuff in this article. Has anybody mentioned to them that the Gazans don't like them? They don't like them. And I've got the receipts for this. All right. I've got the receipts. I've got polling data. All right. I've got a page on the Canadian immigration website that suggests that this might be a reason for that being LGBTQ plus whatever. It might be a reason to be a refugee claim to Canada. I mean, apparently everything else is, so why not that as well? But anyway, that's beside the point. So we'll take a look at that. Important fact check coming up in that one. Then we're going to just go through a bunch of just random Kamala Harris stuff. And it's all negative. It's all negative. And I think we're fine with that. I don't think we really like Kamala that much. She does seem to be an empty-headed idiot.
How can you talk if you haven't got a brain?
I don't know. But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?
That's true, Scarecrow. It sure is. It's never been more true. Hope that's not me. Shit. Anyway, we better move on. We're going to talk. We've got a bunch of Trump stuff. We've got some Trump stuff, some new Trump stuff going on. We'll take a look at that. I want to take a look at what's going on in the UK, where they're basically just ready to turn the state into just a full-on kind of Chinese-style neo-fascist, communist / neo-fascist authoritarian dystopia, it turns out. It is the UK is now just beyond doubt an utter cautionary tale, more so than Canada. I thought Canada was the worst cautionary tale. No, UK, although I'm sure Trudeau would like to take us even further as soon as he can. After all, he does admire China's basic dictatorship that he said. Basic dictatorship. Well, what are you guys saying in the chat? Up to no good once again, I see. Radio Streamer says, I still say we give as many of those blue hair pride heroes tickets to Pakistan with the only requirement that they live stream their trip. Oh dear, that wouldn't be nice. JJ Nevada says, Kabama, I'm guessing that's it. So that is I haven't seen that before, so congratulations, first of all. That's a good one. Kabama, so Kamala and Obama. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not her that's going to be making any decisions, and Obama's right there. So I think it seems fairly obvious he's had an oversized influence in things since 2020. But he says Kabama and True China. True China. That is the word True China is a name for Justin Trudeau that we've been trying to popularize on this channel. I love it. I love to see True Chinas in the chat. Anytime somebody drops a True China in the chat, they get some applause. I want them saying it on the CBC. I want one of the anchors to slip up and say, Justin True China. I mean Trudeau. I want to make this big. I want to blow this up. I want this trending on X. True China. We can make it happen, degenerates. We can make it happen. Balonians, we can make this happen. Radio Streamer says, then they can go and celebrate with everyone over there. I'm sure it will end wonderfully. Yes, I'm sure it will. Not for them, though. Let's see. JJ Nawada says, and don't forget Cotton Pony Tim. Oh, we'll be getting on. You're talking about Tim Walz. We'll be getting to him. G Flood, UK is threatening free speech outside of their jurisdiction. Yes, you're 100% correct. And we're going to get to that. But anyway, here, so very next up, we have Tim Walz. We'll be talking about him, a bunch of stuff we pulled up. It's kind of just in here randomly, really, but that's fine. Rumble and X teamed up to sue this GARM, this advertising cartel, which shut down 2 days later. 2 days later. Why is that? I wonder if they're worried about discovery and, finding, maybe having all their internal communications revealed. I wonder if they might be communicating with the government at all. I wonder, this advertising cartel that's been trying to blacklist X and Rumble. I wonder if there's any communications with the government. Could that possibly be true? We've got an article on this too. We're going to go through that. Just general random election 2024 stuff. We've got a tweet from Kamala Harris here, who's talking about safest way to ensure your vote against attacks by foreign actors is paper ballots. What? How does that happen? How did she say that in 2019? That's amazing, isn't it? She doesn't say that anymore for some reason. I wonder why. Okay, I thought I'd bring up the interactive electoral college map here for the election in 2024. And we can play with this a little bit and see what happens if we flip some of these states. And you can see the number of electoral college votes they have. And that'll be fun. I think we'll do that. Live stream, we've got just a ton of stuff. Like, look at this. I wanted to show you this first. This is an Olympic athlete there. And I think I'm a fan. Picks. That's my Olympics right there. But this is, as you guys know, a mix of all kinds of stuff. Let's look at this one right now. Remember Quantum Leap? And he'd travel through time and he'd go into a different body every time. And
I'm retarded?
See, the thing I like about this episode of Quantum Leap, is that he says to himself, he realizes that he's gone into the body of somebody who's retarded. And then he looks at his reflection, and it's Kamala Harris. Let's see. Let's go back to the chat for 1 second. G Flood says, and this is in reference to the UK, it's sounding like they are planning or they're threatening to prosecute people and have people extradited to the UK for social media posts that they don't like. G Flood is saying, if someone in the UK downloads your post, they imported the contraband, you did not violate their laws unless you posted while in the UK. It doesn't take a lawyer to figure out how wrong they are. It's true. In the US, you wouldn't have to worry about that. But in Canada, with a corrupt, far left, extreme left, radical left, commie, authoritarian like Trudeau, I don't know. He might decide to extradite you and then just, let it go to the Supreme Court. Who knows? I mean, honestly, with Trudeau, with a leader like Trudeau, and unfortunately, if you end up with Kamala, she's a commie, by the way. We're going to get into that tonight. A dirty, dirty commie. And it's clear at this point that she's a commie. She's constantly going on about equity.
And that's nothing but pure and simple old-fashioned communism.
You can stuff it up your ass for nothing and fuck off while you're doing it.
I told you guys I had some good stuff for you. I work hard on this. I work hard on this stream. It's like hours of preparation. It takes me, I spent hours yesterday coming up with all this new stuff. I hope you guys appreciate that. I'm working hard for you. I'm trying to keep it interesting. All right. Because I'm going to tell you why exactly. It's not just that I love you guys, which you know that I do, but it's also I want to force you to listen to me reading you ads. Let's go. All right, people, have you heard of the recent advertising scandal? Let me break it down. The CEO of Rumble, Chris Pavlovsky, recently released an email from Inspire Brands and Dunkin' Donuts. I've actually got those lined up for us in this stream. We'll get to that soon. The email explicitly states the right-wing culture of Rumble is too polarizing. Apparently not the far-left culture. That's not polarizing, but apparently right-wing culture is too polarizing, huh? In other words, Dunkin' Donuts has a problem with right-wing culture and wants nothing to do with it or Rumble. So here is the solution. Stop buying products that don't support you and start supporting brands that do support you. This is pretty simple, really. The competing coffee brand that we all need to get behind is, what is it? It's Rumble 1775 coffee. For a limited time, Rumble is offering to buy 2 bags. For a limited time, Rumble is offering buy 2 bags of coffee and get 1 for free. Buy 2 bags and get 1 for free. That's a hell of a deal. Go to 1775coffee.com. That's 1775coffee.com and enter promo code Duncan to get this limited time deal. 2 bags and get 1 for free. No woke coffee company is going to offer you that anyway. They're doing you a number of favors here, protecting your right to speak your mind and hear what you want to hear. And also, you're getting a free bag of coffee. Great coffee. You know what to do. Let's see. G-Flood says, the only sport I ever watched was Olympic women's beach volleyball. That's the best one. Let's see. Hey, we got Candle Monkey in the chat. Good to see ya. JJ Nevada says, boycott Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, they were one of the companies that is, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that. It's coming. I think it's going to be a long stream tonight, longer than usual. Longer than the usual Friday night one. Antipop, hey, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat, sir. Now he's talking some straight sense here. Dunkin' Donuts are on my 10 foods you should never eat list. Yeah, and he's 100% right. That stuff is straight up poison. And by the way, on a personal note here, I told you guys I'm trying to exercise, eat healthier, get myself back into fighting shape again. And I'll tell you what, it's working. I'm not even weighing myself. I'm just trying on some like old shirts and stuff, and my old clothes are starting to fit. I've been doing this for a couple of months now. Not crazy, not working out like a lunatic. What, do I want a heart attack? No, I don't. But I don't want to be fat. So I'm starting to round out back into shape again. I'm starting to look like my old self again. So I think the lesson is for myself here, slow and steady wins the race. Little adjustments. Cut out the potato chips. Cut out just don't have bread in your house. You can still eat a sandwich, but if you're out and you're hungry, something, you get yourself a sandwich. Don't have bread in the house. Don't have potato chips. Don't have like ice cream in the freezer. There's other things you can have that aren't quite so terrible. Slow and steady every day. Try and get 45 minutes to an hour of like at least moderate exercise. And if you just do that, you don't worry about everything happening overnight. If you just go, you know what, I'm walking up a mountain here, and it's just every step is a step in the right direction, and that's all that matters. Radio Streamer says, Radio Baloney, now without pork additives. But anyway, this is part of my own personal journey, as the ladies say. My personal journey. And it's working out, and I'm quite pleased with the results, actually. Getting back into fighting shape. And the only trick is going to be to keep it up over the winter. All right. Anyway, enough about me. So, yeah, we got a shitload of stuff here. Lots of dingbats, ding-dongs, all kinds of losers. We're going to talk about them. I mean, here's some common sense for you, though. Mommy, I think I'm a boy. Well, you're not. That's all you need to say. And all kinds of stuff. Look, what the hell is with this guy? We're going to talk about him. I don't know what's going on, but I know he's up to no good. Just look at him. I mean, look right there on his jacket. He's got sweat there from his head. He's sweating all the time. What is this guy so worried about? We'll find out. We'll find out. We got Glenn Greenwald talking about how Google buries its competitors. Rumble is in a lawsuit with Google right now, too. We got Ryan Long and Danny Polishchuk. They've got a little skit here. It's pretty funny. I think you guys will like it. Oh, let's see. Brain Biscuit, good to see you in the chat. He's saying, careful, remarks about getting back into fighting shape could see you extradited by the UK. Unfortunately, that's true. Apparently, I'm sure, I don't know, if Trudeau ever found out that I was about Grok versus Trudeau segment on this, he might want to send me there himself. Probably would. But you know what I would say?
Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
I hope it's clear as well. Nevada says Ryan Long is funny. He is pretty funny. And that's why you guys are gonna see one of their skits here. All right. So we got that. We got I want to show you this on Tuesday, but the video wouldn't work. It's Kevin O'Leary, so basically comparing Trudeau to Kamala Harris, and they're basically the same person, it turns out. We saw this one on Tuesday, Big Tits Matter. I said all tits matter, and I don't care if you call me a bigot. I just believe that, but these ones are pretty good. I got Elon Musk talking about the deception by choice of narrative. That's going to be interesting. Anyway, tons of stuff. We've got Grok versus Trudeau. Now, for those of you, if there's any of you right now listening who are not subscribed to the channel, this is something we do every Friday. I'm going to do this every Friday. Sworn to do this. I've sworn. You know, I cannot dishonor my ancestors. I've sworn to do this every Friday until Justin Trudeau is no longer in office. And let me tell you, I've been doing it for a while now. It's getting hard. We've probably done like 50 of these, but there's 2 features that must be in this. So Grok, I asked Grok, which is, by the way, Grok AI is the Twitter AI. It's the only one who will do this. The other ones are way too woke to do this, the other AIs. Grok will do it, though. Right. And I ask it to write a poem about Justin Trudeau. There must be 2 features all the time, every single time. He must do blackface. He must get a vaginoplasty surgery. And then the rest of it, we just make up. So here's the one we're going to do tonight. And probably about halfway through, I'll show you what Grok came up with. And let me tell you, I'm quite happy with this one. And I'm noticing, actually, just a hint of disdain within Grok itself for Trudeau, which I haven't really seen, at least not for a while. So I think we might be corrupting Grok, hopefully. Anyway, so this is what we're going to see later on. I'll show this to you. Write a poem about Justin Trudeau getting permanent blackface treatment and a vaginoplasty. He then declares his intention to compete in the next Olympics boxing competition. Ooh. Unfortunately for Trudeau, due to complications from his vaginoplasty, he wanted it sideways for reasons unexplained. He was unable to compete in the women's boxing in the next Olympics. By this time, the world had had enough of Trudeau's degeneracy, and he was loaded into a giant cannon and launched into the sun. Free of Trudeau, the world entered a golden age of peace and prosperity. That's another one that's become a fixture on this as well. So every time now I end it with Trudeau being loaded into a giant cannon and launched into the sun, and then a golden age descends upon either Canada or the entire world. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe right now. And you'll get to see all of these wonderful and wholesome segments anytime you want, because you'll go onto Rumble or YouTube and they'll just be there. Oh, let me make this note right now. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, we'll probably do 45 minutes to an hour, both onto Rumble and YouTube at the same time, simultaneously. But about 45 minutes to an hour in, we're going to shut off the YouTube stream and just continue with Rumble because of obvious censorship problems with YouTube right now. Right? They've been on my back. They've deleted a video. There censorship problems coming from YouTube. So we're going to, so now I'm afraid we just have to kind of shut it off after a while and then continue with Rumble. But if you just go over to Rumble, you can watch the whole damn thing. We'll probably be going until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. We'll be going for hours. And the water's great here. And the chat is fantastic. And there's always way more people watching on Rumble anyway. So I would suggest you make the switch. And just be warned that eventually this stream will be getting shut down on YouTube, continuing. And when things get really, really harsh, when things get dark and depressing on the stream, we go to the puppy palate cleanser. Now, we sometimes have puppy palate cleanser and the kitten corner. But for this one, I thought we'd just combine them both. Look at there's puppies and then there's kittens. That's going to melt your heart. That's going to cheer you up. That's going to renew your faith in the world. And the best thing about these videos is, I always screen them, is that at no point does Justin Trudeau ever burst in and try and give the puppies or the kittens puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, or sex change surgeries. Because that's the sort of thing he does. And you got to watch out for it because, well, that's not going to cheer you up. Anyway, Trudeau's a monster. Let's see. Anti-pop. Well, look at Anti-pop here dropping turd vagina. I bet the turd vagina gives our athletes nothing. Yeah. Turd vagina is creative. Again, I feel like we're more of a true Gina channel here. Just saying, but I still approve of it. Go ahead. Feel free. JJ Nevada says, hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button, for God's sakes. It's great karma. We always talk about that all the time. It's excellent karma for you. I don't know why anybody would want to miss out on the karma. The world is pretty fucked up right now. The world's on fire. If there's one thing you could use, it's some free karma. All you got to do is press a damn button. Easy. Not saying your life's going to go to hell if you don't. Just saying you're not getting the karma. JJ Nevada says, oh yeah, and fuck YouTube. Absolutely. Let's see. Streamer says, come over to the cool kids table on Rumble. Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't want to be like a snob, right? I don't want to be one of those guys, but it is the cool kids table. It is. All right, so now we've covered all of that. Let's get to the news. Mechanical issue forces Trump plane to land in Billings, Montana ahead of Bozeman rally. So as I said, I just assume anything negative, any kind of thing anything that's in any way dangerous to Trump, I'm just assuming is a deep state plot at this point, a deep state conspiracy. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't anybody? Anybody who's been paying attention for the last 8 years through the ridiculous lawsuits, through the ridiculous Russia collusion hoax, through the ridiculous impeachment, through the ridiculous hush money trial, through the Democrats changing laws so that they could charge him with something, changing laws so they could find something to get him with something. I mean, this is a man who's been in business for decades in like one of the most corrupt places in the United States, New York City, the New York City real estate market, and nothing, apparently everything by the book. They have to change like the statute of limitations on things to try and charge him with something. They have to try and claim that Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million, which is absurd. It's all just lunacy. And then, of course, as far as I'm concerned, they couldn't have made it any more obvious who was behind the assassination attempt on Trump. They couldn't have made it any more obvious. I do not believe there was just this series of catastrophic errors made, each of which would be, you have to assume 1 in 10,000 at least. Now, if these weren't catastrophic errors that just simply don't happen, people would just be getting assassinated all the time. I'm not buying it. And then the lying from the FBI, the lying from the Secret Service itself, from Kimberly Cheetle, and the roof was too hot, or no, it was too sloped. It was slightly sloped. You see just the incredible unlikeliness of all of these catastrophic mistakes happening all at once, and then the lying afterwards, and you go, okay, yeah, they're trying to get rid of him. Something's going on. So now I just assume everything. Mechanical issue forces Trump plane to land in Billings, Montana ahead of Bozeman. Mechanical issue forces Trump plane to land. That's the deep state. That's what I assume at this point. I'm just saying everything is a conspiracy theory from now on to me, after the absurdity of the assassination attempt and the response to it. And Trump needs a food taster right now. I think the only way to keep him safe is if they have like Nancy Pelosi, Schumer, Kamala, Biden are just right next to him at all times. And they taste his food before Trump eats it. On the plane, in the car, they need to taste his food. The man isn't safe. He's clearly not safe. Although, who are we kidding? I think the deep state would probably gladly sacrifice all of them. Schumer, Pelosi, Kamala, Biden. Just replace them with coma patients that have great teams. Because, it's really all about the team, right? It's all about the team behind them. Yeah, I'm concerned. Every attack on Trump just seems to be so obvious now that really, what do you put beyond them at this point? Loosen a few screws somewhere on the plane? I don't know. It's got somebody checking his brakes for him. Nevada says Pelosi would test his wine. She would. I think she's an alcoholic. All right, anyway, let's G-Flet says lawfared. Let's see. Actually, let's go back for a second. Radio Streamer said True Gina Castro Jr. Well, we got another True Gina in the chat, and that gets applause. Oh. All right. Radio Streamer says Lee Harvey'd his ass. All right. Radio Streamer says the hate runs so deep they would just kill the others to get him. Yeah, I think you're right. Chief Flood said Senator Stevens got lawfared in 2008. I voted for a felon between his conviction and his acquittal. He died in a plane crash shortly after the acquittal. Oh, yeah. Antipop says Hillary will spirit cook for him. Spirit cook for him. I don't know all the total ins and outs of the spirit cooking, but I do understand that it's gross and demonic. All right. And then G Flood says nobody paid for the congressional kangaroo court because his plane went down. I mean, really anything that is said about anything that I hear about deep state involvement in things, I'm just going, okay, probably at this point. It's pretty crazy. All right. So what's going on here? So 2024 GOP presidential candidate Donald Trump's plane was forced to land in Billings, Montana Friday afternoon due to a mechanical issue. So that was today. Trump is scheduled to hold a Friday night rally in Bozeman, which is around 120 miles away by air. Trump is amazing. Like, nobody would have blamed him for not doing any more rallies. After it was clear that the Secret Service, he can't count on the Secret Service to protect him, obviously. But he's going around, I mean, he's going to win Montana. He doesn't have to go to Bozeman, but he goes anyway. I mean, it sure feels like maybe he loves the country. What's Kamala doing? Kamala hasn't taken one question, as far as I know, during this stream, has not taken one question from a reporter yet. She's not at a press conference yet. She's not taking any questions. She's not answering anything. She's going out and reading just this pre-written speech somebody wrote for her. In fact, I've got a clip of this coming up. We'll be looking at some point in the future on this stream tonight that shows that she's just reading the same script every night. Tell me who loves the country more. The guy who was just about murdered at a rally, who's just flying out to Montana. As like a small place, a small town in Montana. Which he's got to win anyway. He doesn't have to do that. Let's see. JJ Nevada says this rally is for someone Trump wants to support. True, but would you blame Trump if he really drastically cut it down or just didn't do them at all after that? I think most politicians probably wouldn't. After the performance of his security detail of the Secret Service, I mean, you're going to have huge balls to do that. I mean, do you think you'd see Kamala doing something comparable? I don't think so. She'll do, big places. She's not going up to Bozeman somewhere comparable. Radio Streamer says, we love him back. I have nothing but respect for Trump. All right. So, according to KTVH, Billings Airport said that Trump's plane landed there after the issue. He is now expected to take a private plane to Bozeman's airport. Secret Service will be doing a sweep of the airport before that takes place.
Oh, good for you.
Wow, what a relief. What a relief, huh? Secret Service is sweeping. Great. That's a flawless plan unless there is literally any person at all who would pose any kind of threat. Because in that case, apparently they're totally useless. Again, Trump's got giant fucking balls to be doing this. I mean, we've been over, it's new stuff, new incompetencies or errors are still coming out about that assassination attempt. I'd see what most people would feel pretty nervous. Pretty nervous. But Trump does it anyway. Let's move on. Ottawa Pride calls out Islamophobia pinkwashing in solidarity with Gaza ahead of parade. Why doesn't somebody tell them that they want to kill them? I don't know. I don't know why. They don't like you. Ahead of Ottawa's annual Pride Parade, the parade's organizer, Capital Pride, has issued a statement in solidarity with Palestine, including accusing Israel of ongoing genocide against Palestinians. This comes in the wake of numerous Canadian Pride parades and festivals being disrupted, rerouted, and even ground to a halt because of pro-Palestinian groups staging protests in the path of the celebrations. And because they're all committed to just simply the fashion of whatever the leftist issue is right now, whatever the left is having a love affair right now, none of the strange kind of contradictions are apparent. They're not noticing any of these strange. Sorry, I'm just looking at something else. I'm trying to focus on something else and talk at the same time. Sorry. They're not seeing any of the incoherence in this stance, right? Like, okay. Let's go here. Okay, so what is this? This is Immigration and Refugee Board of Canada. So what are they saying? So I get Immigration and Refugee Board of Canada. So this would be in relation to refugees, say. Gaza Strip. Let's see. So this is law in Gaza. Any person who, A, has carnal knowledge of any person against the order of nature, or has carnal knowledge of an animal, or permits a male person to have carnal knowledge of him or her against the order of nature, is guilty of a felony and is liable to imprisonment for 10 years. Now, it actually gets much worse than that, but I don't know. Has anybody mentioned this? I feel like the Pride people probably wouldn't like that phrase, order of nature. Probably wouldn't like that at all. What else do we have here? Treatment of sexual minorities by society and authorities. According to sources, homosexuality is condemned in Palestinian society. Sources state that homosexuality is a taboo in the Palestinian territories. According to sources, sexual minorities face stigma in Palestinian society. It indicates that Palestinian society does not recognize and respect the rights of sexual minorities. But we already knew that. Why don't these other people know that? Why don't the people that are supporting them know that? According to a 2013 Pew Research Center survey, that's only 11 years ago, 93% of those surveyed in the Palestinian territories indicated that homosexuality should be rejected. According to Haaretz, homosexuals cannot live openly in Gaza or the West Bank. Radio Streamer says it's not a taboo in Palestine, it's suicide. Yeah, it's very dangerous. They hunted down one gay guy who actually fled as a refugee to get asylum in Israel. They hunted him down and beheaded him. So, yeah, anyway, they're not friendly to them. They don't like them. So Ottawa Pride needs to get its head out of its ass and realize that the people that they're in solidarity with are not in solidarity with them. They would have extremely bad intentions for them were they to ever gain enough political power in Ottawa or Canada. JJ Nawada says they throw them off the highest building. That is definitely something that happens. So what do we have here? Okay, hold on a second. So we've established that the Palestinians don't like the LGBTQs, right? They don't like them a lot. Like they really, it's a thing. It's one of their things that they do is they don't like them. But this comes in the wake of numerous Canadian pride parades and festivals being disrupted, rerouted, or even ground to a halt because of pro-Palestinian groups staging protests in the path of the celebrations. What would happen if it was Christian groups doing this? And they were protesting on behalf of Christians that were being genocided in lots of different places in the world. How about Nigeria? Since the turn of the 21st century, 62,000 Nigerian Christians have been killed by the terrorist group Boko Haram. That's more than the people in Gaza. Killed by the terrorist group Boko Haram, Fulani herdsmen, and other groups. The killings have been referred to as a silent genocide. Silent genocide. Ottawa Pride doesn't give a fuck. If it were Christians protesting that genocide, they'd lose their minds, call them fascists and far right and blah, blah, blah. All the usual idiocies. I mean, this is how you know that it's all just fashion. It's all just the left-wing fashion of the day. It's whatever the new cause is. You know, they're told to put up a flag. They put up a flag in the bio. That's how you know. Because it's impossible to actually know anything about any of this and be a pride group that's in solidarity with Hamas. That makes no fucking sense. They don't care about the Christians in Nigeria. I guess those are all evil. They must all be far right. They must all be those white supremacist Nigerian Christians. Maybe they're so stupid they actually think that. Who knows? Who knows?
How can you talk if you haven't got a brain?
I don't know. But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?
It's just genuinely astonishing to see this. I mean, this is the stuff. They're trying to kill satire. They're trying to kill parody. And maybe it's working. Anyway, let's move on. Let's go to Kamala. Or actually, let's go to a life. Let's break it up a little bit. Okay, so here, big tits matter. Again, I say all tits matter, but that was appropriate. What else have we got here? Actually, you know, I want something light. Let's go to this. Let's go to the Ryan Long thing. Let's check this out. This is pretty funny.
Olympic commentator Bob Ballard was fired for making a sexist comment insinuating that women take longer than men to get ready. And I just want to say, at the Boys Cast, we denounced that comment, and we have gender studies professor Melanie Fisher in studio to give her our producer is waving at me that she just needs a few more seconds here to do
whatever she wants to do. And I'll just take a second to say the idea that women take longer to get ready than men. Is she ready? Oh, false alarm.
Possibly a quick reminder that we are, in fact, live, and this is a short segment. Couldn't hurt. Oh, I've just been slipped a note from our producer that she is making one more tiny but definitely extremely necessary wardrobe adjustment.
If it wasn't necessary, she wouldn't be doing it.
Apparently, she does need to grab a quick snack after that. She's feeling dizzy, so we are just going to kill a bit of time here. Here's actually a picture of Bob. This is what a sexist looks like, folks.
Maybe we could do a quick ad read.
Great idea. This show is brought to you by Omega Swiss Luxury Men's Watches, because being on time is maybe not.
But sometimes it's not important.
You gotta be kidding me.
Well, let's cut over to the local women's sports highlights.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I don't actually see them in the timeline that often, actually. So I wonder what's going on there. I'm certain that I'm following them. Let's find something else before we move over to the other political stuff. What is going on here? What the heck is this? What are these people doing?
Oh, I wasn't sad. I just needed a...
COVID safer community still?
Oh, I wasn't sad. I just needed a... Oh, I wasn't sad. I just needed a...
You know, I like to make fun of, but you know, like a bat could fly past them and cough on them, right? You don't know. You never know. I mean, you got to watch out for those bats, those COVID bats these days. Apparently, that's where they come from. I don't know. Why would you still do that? I'm assuming this must be recent. I mean, at some point, if you're still wearing a mask today, and I know there's a few people that still are. You don't see it very often, but there still are people. But you must be just afraid of everything. I mean, why would you even leave your house? You'd have to think you'd be terrified to leave your house. I mean, maybe they do just stay at home until they start starving to death or something. Then they've got to get out. I don't know. POTUS George Kirby says, fit tits matter. I agree. And JJ Nevada said, the always complimentary. And what are we talking about here? We're talking about this picture. The always complimentary, just simple, honest, humble, nice tits. And that's a gentleman right there. Antipop says, if you don't like those tits, you're a prude. I agree. Let's see. George Kirby says, Ryan Long is the funniest Canadian since Norm. Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, he's very funny. But Danny Polchuk has done some hilarious stuff as well. Some great. He did one where he was doing like a comedy routine to like open at the World Economic Forum and bombs in it. And it's very funny. I would check that out. JJ Nevada says, if you're afraid to breathe, how are you going to get laid? I don't know. That's a good question, though. All right, let's get back to the planned course of events. So Kamala Harris is expected to have a packed crowd in Phoenix, Arizona, with thousands of people already at the venue 4 hours ahead of time. The rally is at Desert Diamond Arena, where the NHL's Arizona Coyotes play with a capacity of 20,000. Well, they're not there anymore. I believe the Coyotes are gone. They left. They went to Utah, I think. It says a quick pan of the crowd shows that most of the attendees are middle to older-aged white women, with some men tagging along with their partners. Well, let's get a look at this.
Okay, we got she doesn't start for another 5 hours. It's getting really full. I think it's going to be a full house. Okay, we got she doesn't start for another 5.
Now, my question is, do they have somebody performing there? Because it seems like the big crowd she's been getting has all been because like Bon Iver or I don't know, somebody else, or was Megan the Stallion or something, were putting on shows, and that appeared to be what most of the people were going for. But if we do look through this, it does appear to be middle to older white leftist women who really are just the scourge of the earth. White leftist women. I don't call them liberals anymore because nothing that's going on is liberal. And then there's a few broken, beaten down, pathetic men that have been dragged along, or maybe even are going willfully. Maybe it's all they've got at this point. Genuinely sad, though, to be caught there. I mean, you'd think you'd be embarrassed to be photographed at a Kamala Harris event. Genuinely sad. Yep. This isn't like a young, dynamic crowd. I mean, she looks like she's maybe under 40. This is not some young, dynamic crowd here. Nevada says, must be another free concert. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, too. Yeah, this isn't this. I'm not seeing all of the youth excitement here. I don't see anybody young in this at all. I see a few poor, broken men with broken spirits. Their wives are battle axes that has broken them down over the decades, broken their spirit, destroyed them, destroyed their masculinity. It's genuinely sad. I actually pity them. I'm not mad at them. I just pity them. I mean, is this the typical Kamala voter? I think it probably is. You know what? I've got a button for this. Now, here's one. You guys wanted I remember two sound effects you guys wanted. One was the Norm Macdonald call me gobbledygook. The other one was a different kind of fart sound, more of a kind of diarrhea sound. Let's give it a try. My God, that's disgusting. Genuinely disgusting. I'm not going to bring that out very often. Not very often. That's going to come out for special occasions when we really need it, you know, but I think we're going to stick with this one. That's better. POTUS, and Antipop says all on their phone. Yeah, they're all on their phone as well. So they're probably looking at something, a text that Kamala Harris sent to donate money to her. George Kirby says weird AI pics of Kamala rallies. We've got that. I've got almost everything. I think there's probably a couple of things I forgot for tonight, but look, I've been busy. All right, I've been on huge road trips. JJ Nevada says pussy whipped guys and their Karens. Pussy whipped guys and their Karens. I believe that's true. Candle Monkey says, I don't think big tits matter to this crowd. It's true. It's true. I don't think that they like it. I think it's sad, actually. Well, it's a bunch of older. They'd be jealous of any. I mean, she's not. I mean, you can tell this is a bitter woman right here. A bitter woman. Life has not treated her kindly, I don't believe. Anyway, let's continue. So here we go. Here's something new. Streamer says, I think this is more of a Kenkel crowd. All right. So Harris is a fool. So Harris is just reading off a script that somebody wrote for her. Let's see. I mean, she's got nothing. We know that she's empty-headed. We know that she's not very bright. We know that.
It's good to be back in Wisconsin. It is so good to be back in Michigan. Listen, let me tell you, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. And listen, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. I took on perpetrators of all kinds. I took on perpetrators of all kinds and had a summer job at McDonald's. I had a summer job at McDonald's. So hear me when I say, hear me, Detroit, when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. I know Donald Trump's type. And are we ready to fight for it? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win.
Are we ready to fight for it? What? What exactly? What? She doesn't have a platform. She has no policy. She has nothing. Fight for what? What exactly? She hasn't told anybody. Well, okay, she said that she just, vaguely she's just pro-abortion for that. I guess up until birth, maybe after birth, who knows? But what else exactly? I mean, she's saying that she's going to bring grocery prices down. No idea how. Zero idea. How is she going to do that exactly? She hasn't told anybody. But you can see here, she's just reading a script that somebody has written for her. She's an empty vessel. She's a deep state robot. That's it. She's got nothing. She is empty of content. Although we shouldn't say she's quite empty. She has taken in some communist platitudes. Do I think, for all intents and purposes, she is a communist by the platitudes she speaks. Whether or not she really believes it or she just thinks it's politically expedient, I don't know. But for all intents and purposes, she acts like a communist. And the things she says are communist. Her little, speeches on equity are just straight up commie. And does she believe any of it? Is she just purely an opportunist? Is she really just an empty vessel? You just put something into it and, she'll say it. You just feed Like a teleprompter, you just feed something on the teleprompter, she'll read it. At the very least, we can say that she has communist sympathies from what she's saying, and we're going to get to that. Let's see. JJ Nevada has a really salient point here. In fact, this is quite profound. He says, if your belly is bigger than your tits, please stay home. Yeah, those are good words. Those are wise words. And that's why I love the chat. That's why I love the chat. That's some common sense right there. What have we got here? Looking forward to seeing her with world leaders like Putin and Kim Jong-un. All right, well, this should be good.
And as a woman, there's a balance to be struck between being tough and being a bitch. Turn that off. And as a woman.
Well, first off, if Trump said that, he'd be called the worst sexist in the history of the world and worse than Hitler and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I see this and I just think that, like, it's the cackle at the end that really is the thing, right?
Turn that off.
When you see it, you're just like, I can't believe I'm watching this. I can't believe this is real. How about this one? What do you call what she's explaining? This is all the stuff I want to show you guys on Tuesday. And I would have if not for the technical malfunction.
About a goal of saying everybody should end up in the same place. And since
Okay, she's drunk in this one. She's slurring already.
we didn't start in the same place, some folks might need more. Equitable distribution. Giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. So there's a big difference between equality and equity. Equality suggests often everybody should get the same thing. Well, that often assumes everybody started out in the same place, as opposed to equity, which is everyone should end up in the same place. And if you then understand not everybody started out in the same place, you understand some people need more. So we all end up in the same place. Right? We are proud of the fact that equity is one of our guiding principles. Proud of the fact that we understand equality is important, but not everybody starts out on the same base. We see that people in our country are having an experience that is not equal. So when we talk about the work we are doing here together, it is recognizing that and being guided by this principle of what we must do in the spirit and in the interest of equity. To put equity firmly at the center of our economic policy. But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly.
So I have the feeling that she would drop all of this commie bullshit in a second if it was politically expedient to her. And she's not saying this now. I believe these are older clips. So maybe she already has. But I mean, what she's saying there, well,
no offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Yeah, it certainly does. It certainly does. Because what she's saying there is communism. Right? What happens is everybody is reduced to the same poverty. That's equity, right? Equity. The morons, the useful idiots think that, oh, well, I'll be rich. I'll be at the same level as somebody who's wealthy. No, the wealthy are going to be brought down to your level. In fact, your level will be even lower because poor people in wealthy Western liberal democracies are better off than the average person in a communist country, right? Like in Cuba, you can go to the hospital and say, I'd like my free health care now, please, my universal health care now, please. And they'll say, oh, very well. I'm afraid you'll have to come back, though. We're all out of it. Because there's no money, because it's not a creative, dynamic economy, obviously. So they have nothing. You can ask for your benefits. They're just out for the moment, and tomorrow and next week and next month and forever. That's the problem. So what happens is everybody is reduced to the same poverty with no hope of getting out, unless you're part of, the regime elite, you're related to somebody or have some in, right? That's your only hope. That's equity. That's the equity you get in a communist society. And this is exactly what she's talking about. It is communism. I mean, it sounds like she's a communist. She's saying it out loud. She's saying everything except, hey, I'm an actual communist. She's advocating for a life of utter hopelessness, forced conformity, lies over truth, and of course, permanent Orwellian gaslighting. You're not going to be a revolutionary poet if you vote for Kamala. The state's not going to support you as a revolutionary poet. You're going to do what you're told. If they tell you to go to the cement factory, you're going there. Now, they aren't going to need any more revolutionary poets or artisans or anything like that. The state doesn't need that. They need you to do other things. They need you to clean their toilets. It's baffling how we could have, as a society, fallen so low as to have this become so ignorant of history. Not even going back that far, just going back, like 80 years, 100 years. And it's the great tragedy of Western civilization that, we're taught about how evil the Nazis were. Of course, they were terrible. They're also leftists, by the way. Fascism is just a sister ideology of socialism, of communism. The National Socialist Workers' Party from Germany, right? They weren't right-wing. They were leftists as well. But the tragedy is that we only hear about that one side, who they lie to us. They lie to our children and tell them that they were the far right. No, they weren't. They were leftists as well. We don't hear about Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot. That's not taught in schools apparently anymore. I mean, it should be shameful to walk around with a Che Guevara t-shirt on. This was not a good man. To walk around with a hammer and sickle patch on, and you're not wearing it ironically. It should be a shameful thing. And people should say, I don't trust that person. They should say, I learned what happened to people. I learned what like Lenin and Stalin and Mao did to their populations. I don't trust somebody who would wear an image of them on them. I mean, I've maintained for a while now that if you're walking around with a hammer and sickle or like a picture of Mao or something, and you know about it, if you're a communist now and you actually know the history, you're a bad person. You're a bad person. You're a got to break a few eggs person. Got to break a few eggs to make an omelet person. And by a few eggs, they mean millions of people dying horribly. If you're a communist now and you actually are informed, you're a bad person. You are a terrible person. If you're a Marxist-Leninist now and you know, you're a bad person. There's a lot of people walking around spouting the platitudes. That may be all that Kamala Harris is doing, just spouting platitudes she heard that she thought would be politically expedient. Now, those people are the useful idiots, the people that just, they learned everything they need to know in, minute-long videos on TikTok. They're the useful idiots. And it's a tragedy for Western civilization that we didn't make sure they were educated properly with real history. Anyway, that was a bit of a rant. What are you guys saying? I know you guys love the rants. Let's see. Well, you guys are burning through the chat. And I'm noticing you guys are just starting to have like conversations that have nothing to do with what I'm talking about, which I love, by the way. Let's see. G-Flit says, I work hard, got 25,000 in Rumble stock at $5.95 a share, hoping the death of Garm turns it up. Hopefully that will help. Hopefully that will help. You know, the government is involved, right? Government agencies are involved. Probably orders coming directly from the White House. So you have to see. JJ Devon says, good job, Flood. Antipop says he got some silver. You were talking about silver last time, too. I got to think about that myself. I don't have anything like that. JJ Nevada says, I told my dad to buy 10,000 and just put it off to the side for a year. Maybe I should have put my Bitcoin money into my crypto money into silver. I don't know. Let's see. Antipop says estate auctions often have silver. Well, that's a good thing to know. All right. Let's continue with Kamala. We've been going for an hour and 13, and we still got an enormous amount to get through. All right. I better speed it up. Oh, here we go. Remember when Kamala proposed a carbon tax that gets passed on to consumers? So this is interesting because we've got Kevin O'Leary talking about how Trudeau and Kamala are basically the same thing. And a carbon tax. It's no wonder. It's no wonder. She probably...
Under my plan, there will also...
Justin Trudeau probably told her to do it himself personally.
Under my plan, there will also be a carbon fee. Mm-hmm. And that money, a lot of it is going to go to the communities, and this is part of my environmental justice approach to the issue. We're going to do it in a way that is about what we've always done with industry, which is to say that there has to be some connection between the fee and bad behaviors, and there has to be, and that we have to monitor whether it's going to be passed on to consumers. But I'm going to tell you that should never be the reason not to actually put a fee, and in particular, carbon fee. Under my plan, there will also be a...
They love to talk about punishing bad behaviors, don't they? Punishing bad behaviors. Bad behavior on whose part? The public's part, your part, the consumer's part. Bad behaviors. The nanny state. I mean, you know what you're going to get if she gets into office. I have to say, a couple of weeks ago, I was saying, somebody in the chat had said they thought it's, basically it's all over if she gets in. And I said, no, you can't be blackpilled. You got to have faith in the institutions. I'm starting to think you might be right. You look at what's happened in the UK. In the UK, 20 years ago, you never would have imagined the UK could have fallen so low as it has right now when you're talking about individual rights and the real human rights, the actual human rights, the right to express yourself or criticize your government. You got to think it's getting onto a razor's edge right now, don't you? But in any case, she's talking about punishing your bad behavior, just like Trudeau, punishing Canadians' bad behavior, using all that carbon, using all those fossil fuels, that natural gas, and driving those evil cars, those evil gas cars. You have to be punished for it. You have to be punished for it like a child. They have to punish you. You'll change your behavior to what they want for their insane utopian goals. They're ridiculous, pie-in-the-sky goals. They're ridiculous, impossible goals. You must be punished. You must be. It's your bad behavior. You must be punished for your bad behavior. You're not doing what Trudeau wants. You're not doing what Biden wants, or Kamala Harris, or Keir Starmer, two-tier Keir in the UK. You must be punished. As if you're a child. Except you're a child that works and pays taxes. and can give them money and that they can extract more money out of. On that level, you have to be an adult. But when it comes to making your own choices and decisions in life, now you're a kid. And I guess you'll need the matriarchy of Kamala Harris to guide you and give you a swat across the head when you do bad. Let's see. G Flood is saying, almost 8, gotta sleep. Good night, degenerates. Good night, you degenerate yourself. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Candle Monkey says, Candle Monkey says this, and this is a great point. The customer pays for it in the end, no matter how you slice it. Yeah, the customer always pays in the end. And the thing is, carbon taxes, we know, ask a Canadian about carbon taxes and how well they work, right? Ask a Canadian just how much our carbon taxes have contributed to apparently saving the world. Zero. Absolutely zero. They're making everybody poorer. They're making everybody poorer. And when they count in what it costs Canadian citizens, they don't count like food production, for instance, at the farm. The farm has to pay more because of carbon tax to transport the food from the farm to the processing plant. That's carbon tax right there. That's an additional cost that you're going to have to pay at the end. The processing, carbon tax. Packaging, carbon tax. Transporting to the grocery store, carbon tax. The grocery store is paying carbon tax. That's the part they don't tell you about. It's adding on a little bit all along the line of production from the farm to the table. That's just food production. That's what Kamala would like to do to Americans. But it's so telling, right? Bad behavior. Who's bad behavior? Your bad behavior. The people who don't like her, who won't just do what they're told. All right, I think at this point, we're going to cut off the YouTube stream. Because YouTube hides it anyway, so it doesn't really matter at this point. But we're going to cut off YouTube. Anybody who's on YouTube watching right now, come over to Rumble. The water's great. We're gonna be going for like, I don't know, another 3 hours or something, maybe longer, maybe 4 hours. I got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Come over. The water's great. The chat's fantastic. You'll fit right in. We'll see you over there.